we got basics 8 practice. It's worth 25 points, regardless of whatever that says. All right, factor completely. I notice when I look at 80 and 45 that they're both divisible by 5. And again, don't mute me. And try to figure out. No blind copying. Anyways, both these numbers are divisible by 5. If I pull a 5 from an 80, I have a 16x squared because there's an x squared. If I pull a 5 from 45, I have a 9. Now, I am familiar with this pattern, a squared minus b squared, which factors as a minus b times a plus b. So if I look at this guy, I would think that a is 4x, because a 4x squared is 16x squared, and b is 3. So I got the 5, and then I have 4x for a minus b, and then a plus b. Ta-da! Number 2 is like one of these easy problems that half my students are going to miss. I don't know why. But anyways, we shift the 99 over. We take the square root of both sides. 99 is imaginary. X is plus or minus, and that's a big deal, the imaginary root of 9 times 11. Because 99 is 9 times 11, which is x equals plus or minus 3i root 11. Notice there's 2 answers. That's a big deal. That plus or minus symbol was a huge deal. The next one is so easy. It is literally the zero product property. X minus 5 equals 0. So x is 5. 2x plus 7 equals 0. We shift and divide. X is negative 7 halves. 2x plus 1/9 is 0. And this one has fractions, it'll bother kids. 2x is negative 1/9. We divide by 2. We insert a 2 down in the denominator. X is negative 1/18. Wow. Boil and show your work. 3 plus 2i times 6 minus 7i. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 7i is minus 21i. 2i times 6 is plus 12i. And 2i times negative 7i is negative 14i squared. Now, negative 14i squared is going to be negative 14 times a negative 1, which is 14. And I can't tell you how many times I've been through this with y'all, but you can't change sign, cross out. 18 and 14 makes 32 if you know how to add. Some of you think you know how to add, but you do not know how to add. Negative 21i plus 12i is negative 9i. All right, got the QF. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we're going to pick out our numbers here. Glancing at this, a is 4, b is negative 6, and c is 7. So opposite of a negative 6 is a positive 6, plus or minus square root. If you're going to square a negative, don't worry about signs. Minus 4 times a, which was 4, times c, which is 7, all sitting pretty over twice a 4. Now, figure out what this is. All right, what is that? That is 36 minus 16 times 7, which is what, 112? Seems right. You know, you can push buttons on a T94 if you want. I don't care. Just figure out what's in there. And 36 minus 112, oh, what's she going to be? We got 64, should be 78. Nope, 76, I'm off. I had to think about that one. Now, I've got this piece over an 8. And I've got this funky looking number right here sitting over an 8. So 76 is divisible by 4. It's 4 times 19. So let's think about this as the imaginary root of 4 times 19, which is 2i root 19. 6/8 reduces to 3/4, plus or minus 2 over 8 would be 1/4, I root 19 over 4. There's 1 through 5. 6 says use synthetic division to determine, it should say if, to determine f of negative 1 for the polynomial. So this is literally telling you right here that x is 1. Sorry, negative 1, because we don't change signs on function notation. So it's going to go up front. My coefficients are 2, 0, notice the 0x cubed, negative 3, negative 5, negative 4, and I drop, I multiply, and I add. So I drop the 2, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, 0 minus 2 is negative 2, negative 1 times negative 2 is 2, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4, and negative 1 times negative 4 is 4. 0. Turns out f of negative 1 is 0. How about that? Now, this is probably when everything's going to get weird for me because I'm going to fire up CMU and that's going to make my cursor quit working. But anyways, I need to plug into the formula f of b minus f of a over b minus a. This is my average rate of change, which you ought to know. So to find f of b, I'm going to plug in a 2. And I'll write it out on paper. To find f of a, I'm going to plug in a negative 1. Now, it says, please use a storage feature. I'm going to let you use your calculators on this basics quiz. So, let's see how this goes when I fire up CMU. Let's see here. For some reason, I have that in my downloads folder. I never moved it. Whenever I run CMU, my cursor on my pen quits working when I record. Let's just run that. All right, so one of the things I had to plug in was a 2. 2 store x. And the function was negative 2 parentheses 1 over 2 close parentheses roof-topped to the x minus 2 arrow down plus 3. So when I plug in a 2, I get back a 1. Now the next thing I was supposed to do was plug in a negative 1. So back to CMU, in your case the TI-84. Took a negative 1, stored it to x. Up, highlight, enter, enter. I got negative 13. Oh, there goes the pen. Yep. Dang it. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. Every time I fire up CMU, this thing goes weird. Phooey. That really stinks. Anyways, where was I? This guy was a negative 1, and this guy was a negative 13. Sorry, that guy was not negative 1. It'd be a 0, 1. That'd be positive 1. All right, so no more using that calculator. F of b ended up being a 1. I am to take away a negative 13, and that is sitting over, and we already aren't drawing again, b minus a, which is 2, minus a negative 1. Now 1 take away a negative 13 is a positive 14. That's plus plus. About as slow as y'all know. 2 take away a negative 1 is 3. There is my answer, and that's where I stop for now because this is annoying. This should work.